Caitlin Clark, remember that girl, that superstar playing for Iowa that ended up going to the Final Four? Caitlin Clark continues to set the bar when it comes to her impact on female athletics.
Caitlin Clark just inked a $28 million deal with Nike. That's not just big money, it's the biggest deal ever for a women's basketball player. But here's the kicker, she's not even on Team USA for the Olympics. What's going on here? Alright, let's talk about Caitlin Clark's rise from rookie to revenue machine.
Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe. She deserves it! She deserves it!
Picture this, sold-out jerseys flying off the shelves, 186,000 fans packing arenas, and social media numbers that'd make LeBron do a double take. That's the Caitlin Clark effect, and it's taking the WNBA by storm. But it's not just about the hype. Clark's bringing the skills to back it up. We're talking about a rookie who's already made history with the first career triple-double for a first-year player in WNBA history. That's not beginner's luck, that's game-changing talent. And get this, Clark's not just scoring points on the court, she's scoring big for her team's bottom line. The Indiana Fever, they're experiencing a fever of their own, a 1,000% increase in merch sales. You read that right, 1,000%, that's not a typo, folks. The Fever are on fire, and it's all thanks to one player. But what's really turning heads is how Clark's changing the game beyond the stats. Her jersey sold out in all sizes, can't find one anywhere.
She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin. Clark's Indiana Fever jersey is apparently sold out in all sizes.
It's like trying to get front row tickets to a Taylor Swift concert. Good luck with that. Now, you might be thinking, sure, she's popular, but can she really play? Well, let me hit you with some numbers. Clark's averaging 16.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 6.3 assists in her rookie season. That's not just good, that's elite level performance right out of the gate. And remember that triple-double we mentioned? It's not just a one-time thing. Clark's game is so well-rounded, she's got fans and analysts alike wondering if she'll rewrite the record books before her rookie season's even over. But here's where Clark's impact gets really interesting. She's not just changing how the game is played, she's changing how it's watched, marketed, and valued. The WNBA suddenly got a new problem on its hands. How do you market a league when one player's stealing all the spotlight? It's a good problem to have, sure, but it's forcing some big changes.
And guess what? It's going to change for the better because Caitlin Clark's going to help it change for the better. And if Caitlin Clark helps you appreciate that and mimic Dawn Staley.
We're talking about rethinking player marketing strategies, reconsidering how teams are built, and even reevaluating what it means to be a star in women's basketball. Clark's success is like a wake-up call for the entire league. It's showing that there's a huge appetite for women's basketball when you've got the right star power. And it's not just about individual talent. It's about personality, marketability, and the ability to connect with fans on and off the court. Think about it. Clark's not just selling jerseys, she's selling out arenas. She's not just getting followers, she's creating a whole new generation of fans. And she's doing it all as a rookie. That's unheard of. But with all this success comes some tough questions. How does the league balance promoting its new superstar with supporting its other talented players? How do teams compete when one player seems to have such a massive impact on ticket sales and merchandise? These are the kind of questions that keep WNBA executives up at night, but they're good questions to have because they show that women's basketball is evolving, growing, and capturing the public's imagination in ways it never has before. And let's not forget, this is just the beginning. Clark's only in her rookie season. She's got years ahead of her to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in women's basketball. So what does all this mean for the future of the sport? Well, it means we're entering a new era, an era where women's basketball isn't just an afterthought, it's a main event, where players like Clark can become household names, not just among sports fans, but among the general public. And just when you thought Caitlin Clark couldn't get any bigger, Team USA drops a bombshell that has fans losing their minds. The decision, leaving Clark off the Olympic roster. Yeah, you heard that right. The player who's been setting the basketball world on fire won't be representing the USA in Paris this summer. Now you might be thinking, how's that even possible? Well, Team USA says it's all about experience and team fit. They're looking for players who've been there, done that, and have the international experience to back it up.
But when you talk about marketing the sport, I think Team USA missed an opportunity. I never once said that Caitlin Clark should have been on the team ahead of the 12 people selected ahead of her. You know she had the potential. You know, playing amongst other stars, with her marksmanship, she could have made big things happen.
But here's the thing, with Clark's ability to draw crowds and light up the scoreboard, are they missing a golden opportunity? Let's break it down. USA basketball chair Jen Rosati made it clear their focus was on creating the best team for competition, not on marketing. They're looking at the big picture, trying to build a squad that can bring home the gold. But in today's world of sports, where fan engagement is king, is that the right call? Think about it. Clark's got millions of fans. She's selling out arenas and breaking TV ratings records. Wouldn't having her on Team USA be like bringing a secret weapon to Paris? Not just for her skills on the court, but for the buzz she'd create around women's basketball on the world stage. But Team USA had other concerns. They were worried about how Clark's massive fan base would react if she didn't get much playing time. It's a stacked roster, after all, and they didn't want the Olympics to turn into the Caitlin Clark show if she was riding the bench.
To elevate the profile of women's excellence in the sport of basketball, because they ignored marketing.
Now, the internet, it's on fire. Fans are outraged, and it's not just about basketball anymore. We're talking race, gender, and the future of women's sports. This decision has opened up a whole can of worms that goes way beyond who's on the court. Take Stephen A. Smith from ESPN. He didn't mince words. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. Strong words from a guy who knows a thing or two about basketball, and he's not alone. Commentators are calling this one of the worst selection decisions in Olympic history. Ouch.
I said marketing matters in everything. Promotion matters in everything. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's why you should have had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about one player or one team. It's shaking up how we think about sports, representation, and what it means to build a winning team. Are we stuck in old ways of thinking? Or is Team USA playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers? Clark herself, she's taking it like a champ. She said, "I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way." That's class, folks. But it doesn't change the fact that leaving her off the team feels like a missed opportunity to many fans. Think about the viewership, the engagement, the new fans Clark could bring to women's basketball on a global scale. We're talking about a player who's not just good, she's changing the game. And now she won't be on the biggest stage in sports. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing basketball, she's shaking up the entire sports world, and this matters for every fan out there, whether you're into hoops or not.
Hating on Caitlin Clark, she's a good girl. Very smart. I've met her, I've talked to her, I've talked with her family. She's a wonderful young lady. For elevating the sport for all of us, think big picture. Think big picture, don't get caught up.
Clark's impact is spreading like wildfire, and it's not just about what happens on the court anymore. Let's talk about the ripple effect. New leagues are popping up left and right, offering players more chances to earn. Take the Women's Basketball League Unrivaled, for example. They're reportedly paying players an average of $250,000. That's way more than typical WNBA salaries. It's like Clark opened the floodgates, and now everyone's scrambling to get a piece of the action. But Clark's got her eyes on an even bigger prize. She's not just looking to change the game, she's looking to change the whole system. From Olympic pay to league structures, Clark's success is shining a spotlight on some major problems in sports. And change might be coming faster than you think. Think about it. For years, women athletes have been fighting for equal pay, better working conditions, and more recognition. Now, with Clark's $28 million deal, suddenly everyone's paying attention. It's like she just cranked up the volume on a conversation that's been going on for years. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's impact isn't just about women's basketball. It's forcing us to rethink how we value athletes across all sports. You've got people asking questions like, if Clark can pull in these kinds of numbers, what does that mean for other women's sports? And how come some Olympic athletes are still struggling to make ends meet? These aren't just hypothetical questions. They're the kind of questions that lead to real change. We're talking about a potential transformation in how we support athletes, from the grassroots level all the way up to the pros. Now, you might be wondering, what does this mean for me as a fan? Well, it could mean a lot. Imagine a world where women's sports get the same level of coverage, investment, and respect as men's sports. That's not just good for the athletes, it's good good for fans too. More games to watch, more stars to follow, more excitement all around. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are still plenty of challenges to overcome. The Olympic snub we talked about earlier, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are deeply ingrained systems and attitudes that need to change. And change isn't always easy. Still, Clark's journey is showing us what's possible. She's proving that there's a massive audience for women's sports when given the right platform and support. And that's got people in high places paying attention. Think about the impact this could have on young athletes. Suddenly, girls watching Clark light up the scoreboard aren't just dreaming about playing pro ball. They're seeing it as a real career path, one where they can make serious money and have a serious impact. But it's not just about inspiring the next generation. Clark's success is forcing us to confront some uncomfortable truths about how we value different athletes and different sports. It's sparking conversations about race, gender, and opportunity that go way beyond the basketball court. And here's the kicker, this is just the beginning. Clark's only in her rookie year. Imagining what she could accomplish in 5 years or 10. The changes we're seeing now, they might be just a preview of what's to come.